Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to make this super cool little hippie dude. He's got a little peace sign, a little headband, a lot of long hair. If you want to know how to make this little guy, stick around. I'll show you how. Thanks for watching. I love you guys. Peace out. Okay, for this one I'm just going to use these little feet I got on Amazon. I'll give you the link for those. I'm going to put two 5/16" nuts inside each one of them to give some weight. Okay, next I'm just going to take a 5/8" hair noodle. I'm going to go ahead and take the wire out of it. We're going to not use that wire, and we're going to cut these at 4 inches in length. So you're going to cut two of them at 4 inches in length. And just make sure they're exactly the same length. Then I'm going to take two little dowel sticks that are 1/4 inch by 6 inch, and I'm going to sharpen them to go inside of these hair noodles. Just push them all the way down. Just make sure once you push these all the way down that they are the same length, because they do tend to kind of bunch up a little bit. You want to make sure that when you get done that both of the pieces are exactly the same length. Okay, next we're going to take some jean fabric, and then it measures 3.5 inches wide by 5 1/4 inches long. You're going to fold it over, and then you are going to cut a slit through both sides all the way up to 2 inches. Just make sure it does go all the way up to 2 inches, and you're going to do the same thing with the other one. Okay, next I'm going to take a 2 inch by 2 inch piece of fabric, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue this as an insert in. Now make sure it hangs over the bottom, because we are going to hem it up, but you want to open it up till it's about 1 3/4 inches wide across there and glue both sides. This is going to give it the bell bottom look on the pants. So you want to open it up about 1 3/4 inches and then glue that down too. Then you're going to go ahead and flip it over and finish gluing it in. And then we're going to do the exact same thing for the other side, and then the other pair of legs too. Just fold it up on the bottom, and you're going to hem it up even with the bottom part of the jean material. And then we're going to trim all this off here in a minute. So just go ahead and open it up and just cut off any of the excess hanging over, because you don't want any of this seen from the front. And just trim those little corners off right there, and then do exactly the same thing with the other. See how that bell bottomed out? And just open it up and do the same thing. You're going to open it up to 1 3/4 inches wide, glue one side, and then just measure it with the other. But do make sure you have some hang over the edge so that you can hem those up. Now to form the pant leg, we're just going to fold it over with facing sides together, and we are going to glue down the 5 1/4 inch side all the way down and glue those together. Next, I'm just going to turn them right side out, and I'm just going to use some pliers to do that. So just go on down to the end, and then just grab the fabric and pull it on through. And then do the same thing for the other one. Next, we're just going to go ahead and take our legs and put them inside of our feet. And then I'm going to take some craft foam. I'm just going to cut a little 1/2 inch piece. I'm just going to kind of roll it up, and I'm going to stick it into the back part right behind that little noodle. This will make it stand up straight. You can add as much as you need to make sure that that hair noodle is standing straight up. And do the same thing with the other one. Just push it all down in there until it stands straight up. And next I'm going to go ahead and put my jean pants on them. Just run it right over the top part of them. And then I'm just going to glue them to the very back part of the foot. Just make sure they come down. They don't go below the foot, and then just glue them to the back of the foot. Just make sure that seam is right down the back. Okay, next we're going to take a 2 1/4 inch pool noodle, and we're going to cut it to 4 inches in length. Then I'm going to take my pants that I just made, and I'm going to cut little slits all the way down to the top part of that hair noodle. That way we can glue these into the noodle. And then we're just going to go ahead and glue the top of the pants leg to that pink noodle. Next, for the shirt, we're going to take a piece of 9 inch by 6 1/2 inch piece of fabric, and we're going to hem up the 9 inch side. Then after you get this side hemmed up, go ahead and hem up one of the 6 1/2 inch sides. Okay, then we're just going to go ahead and attach it to our noodle. Now we want it to come down about a 1/2 inch from the edge. So we'll go ahead and start it from about a 1/2 inch and just kind of glue one side and just roll it up. If you could just glue onto the shirt itself and not so much on the noodle, it will really help you, because you don't need a lot of glue on this noodle. Okay, next we're going to test beat the legs, make sure they stand up. Just go ahead and center them on both sides. Make sure they go through the noodle on both sides and they're kind of centered in the center. Once you figure out they're standing up good, go ahead and take them back out. We're going to trim the excess fabric off the top. Just about, leave a little bit so we can glue it to the noodle. Next we're going to make the beard and we're just going to cut it at 2 inches by 2 inches. And I'm just using white faux fur on this, and I'm going to use a contrasting on his hair. So just go all the way around in a U shape, back up the other side, and then comb the excess off. Okay, for his hair, I'm going to cut a piece of 2 inch by 9 inch. And I'm just using a contrasting color on this. Okay, next I'm just going to go ahead and close up the top. I'm going to cut off a lot of it off the top because you don't need too much. You just need enough to cover up the noodle on top. And then we're just going to glue it in all the way around and then just glue it on top on the front. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and take the legs back out and I'm just going to go ahead and permanently glue those in. And then I'm going to go in there and glue those little tabs down. You don't have to glue them all down, but just do make sure that you glue a few of them in. Okay, next I'm taking a 7.5 inches by 5 inch piece of felt and I'm just going to cut some little fringe on the bottom of it. So on the 7.5 inch side, you want to just kind of go up a 1/2 inch all the way up and cut a little 1/4 inch slits. Just trying to make some fringe on the bottom. And then just kind of take your fingers and kind of rough it up a little bit to open them up. Next, I'm going to go ahead and trim the top part just a little bit in because it did overlap a little bit too much on top part, and just match it up on the opposite side. Okay, next I just cut out a little peace sign with my Cricut and I'm just going to put it right on his jacket. Now if you have the kind of vinyl that you can iron it on. I just didn't have any for this and so I just used what I had. And this is just a permanent, press on vinyl. I'm just going to go ahead and wrap his jacket around the top part of him and I'm going to start gluing it in. So you're just going to go around the top part edge all the way around to the back. And then we're going to glue some down on the front. Now you don't want to glue it flat all the way to the front. You kind of want to open it up and kind of go in a little bit so it does still look like it has a little bit of flap opening up in the front. Okay, next I'm just going to come down 1 inch from the top and that's where I'm going to put his beard. Just center it right in the center. And then just go ahead and glue it on. Just make sure it's 1 inch. Next, I'm taking a 1/2 inch ball of oven baked clay. I'm just going to roll it into a little log. Then I'm going to take the 2 pieces and squeeze the front part and the back part opposite ways. Then I'm going to take my knife and I'm just going to roll 4 fingers in here. I'm not going to cut through it. I'm just going to roll 4 fingers in here. And then I'm just going to bend his hand over. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add a little thumb to the side. Just kind of roll it into like a little pea-shaped size and go ahead and shape it into a little log and then just smooth it into there. And then I'm just going to cut a little bit off because it was a little bit long. Just make sure you get all the thumb really smoothed in there so you don't see any lines. Okay, next I'm going to do the same thing with the other hand, except for this one I'm going to form it a little bit different. I'm going to give it a peace sign. So I'm going to just cut 2 fingers open and then I'm just going to roll the last one. And then I'm going to go ahead and open those up and just kind of roll them out with my finger to make the peace sign on them. Just kind of make them kind of even. And then I'm just going to add a little thumb to the opposite side. Just make sure that you have opposite thumbs on each hand. And then I'm going to smooth that in and then I'm going to fold it over in the back to kind of make the hand like it's supposed to be for peace sign. And then I'm just going to cut this one a little bit shorter just like I did the other one. And then we're going to attach some wire to them. Now I'm taking 2 4-inch pieces of 3mm wire. And I'm just going to run it right up into the hand. So you make sure that it goes as far up in the hand as you can without messing up your hand. Because this is what's going to hold it on to the arm. And then we're going to bake these at 275 degrees for 25 minutes. Okay, next I'm using about a 3/8 inch hair noodle. I'm going to go ahead and pull my wire out. And then I'm going to cut both of these at 3 inches in length. Okay, next for the sleeve, I'm taking a piece of fabric that's 3 inches wide by 3.5 inches in length, and I'm going to go ahead and hem up the short end and the long end. Next, I'm going to measure over 1/2 inch, and I'm just going to do a diagonal from the top all the way down to the bottom, because we're going to try to like bell bottom the bottom of the sleeves. Then we're just going to fold them over and just glue them all the way to the top. So you are going to glue at that diagonal. And then do that for both of them. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and take our purple noodle that we cut, and we're going to put our hand on through there and glue that wire in. And do the same thing for both of them. And then we're going to take the other wire that we took out of here, and we're going to cut it and put it into both of those just to kind of strengthen them a little bit. Go as far down as you can go. And then we're going to trim off the top part, and we're going to glue the top part in. Just leave about 1 inch overhang on it. And then do the same thing with the other one. Just push it all the way down in there with about 1 inch overhang. And then you can actually cut off the little bitty tip that's on there too from the other wire. And then just go ahead and glue that in. Okay, then we're just going to go ahead and put our sleeves right down to the bottom of them. Just kind of line it up down there, and then don't worry about the top so much. We're going to push that all the way into our little gnome's body. So get your seam in the back, and then we're going to go ahead and glue the top part to the noodle, and do that on both of them. So we're going to come down 1 1/4 inches from the top, and we're just going to poke a hole in here to put the arms, just kind of on each side of his body, and we're going to do the same thing for both sides. Then we're just going to go ahead and push our noodle all the way down in there till you don't see the purple anymore. And then we're going to do the same thing with the other side, and then we'll glue them in here in just a second. So you're going to come down 1 1/4 inches from the top, cut your hole, and then just go ahead and push it all the way through there. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and pull them out, and we're just going to glue them in. Just kind of make sure that the thumbs are facing forward and that the seam on the back of the arm is facing downward. Okay, next we're just going to bend the arms down, kind of give him a little bit of shoulder up there on both sides. Okay, next the hand that has a peace sign on it, we're going to go ahead and pull it on up so you can see him doing the peace sign, and then we're just going to pull the other arm forward. Then we're going to take that 2 by 9 inch piece of faux fur, we're going to cut up 2 1/4 inches on both sides. That way we can get it around the arms when we get ready to put it onto his body. We're going to take that same faux fur and cut a 2 by 3 3/4 inch rectangle. Okay, and we're just going to glue on the top and down both sides, and we're just going to put this right onto the back. Make sure that you overhang on the noodle at the top, probably about 1/2 inch. For the top, we're going to put it just exactly like that, halfway on each side, just kind of split it down the middle, and then we're just going to go ahead and glue on the front part to the middle and glue it right up at that edge where I just showed you how we're doing that one. Just kind of make sure it blends in there real well. And then go ahead and put a little bit of glue in the back to kind of glue that in. And then we're just going to comb that together. Okay, then we're going to start gluing in our sides in sections. Just remove all your hair out of the way before you glue it, and glue that one down. And then the separation between the two, we're just going to put a little bit of glue, run it down, and then we're going to put the hair together. Right there where it's separated, just open it up. Put a little strip of glue down there, and then just kind of squeezing it together, and that'll all blend in. You will not notice that there's different layers. And do the same thing for the opposite side. Just kind of clean all the hair off of there first, and then we're just going to glue that straight down there too. And then put another bead of glue right down the center there, and we're just going to squeeze those two together. Just want to fill it in where you don't see any gaps. Okay, on the front, we're just going to go ahead and put it around the front part of the arm. And go ahead and glue right up at the edge, and you're going to pull it so it's snug. You don't want that gap up there at the top. So go ahead and pull it while you're doing it, and then just glue in the rest of it. Just keep your hair out of the way while you're doing all that. And then this will blend real nicely. And do the same thing for the opposite side. Pull that one on down, go ahead and glue up there, and then go ahead and pull it. And then glue that down at the back. Okay, next we're going to take a 12-inch by 1-inch piece of felt to make the headband, and we're just going to go right around the front part area. And we're going to come to the side. We're going to glue it to the side. So go ahead and glue it on the front part, and then we're going to finish it out on the sides. And you can leave however much hair you want out of it if you want more spiky on top. But I'm pulling in a lot that's going to be straight to the bottom. I'm just going to put a little bit of spike on the top of him. Just pull it around there, and you can trim that piece off, and then you're just going to glue them over, flush. Okay, next I'm just going to take a little braided rope. I got it Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to tie it around, and then I'm going to tie it off on the side. This is just in their ribbon section if you go to Hobby Lobby. And then we're just going to trim it off. Probably about 2 inches. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and attach the nose. Just put a little dollop of glue, and we're just going to kind of lift up the headband a little bit and just stick it right up underneath there. Okay, then go ahead and play with the hair. Get it kind of combed out a little bit. Spike it up a little bit. Okay, then I'm going to take that same rope that I put around his headband, and I'm just going to wrap it around his arm about 3 times just to kind of give him a bracelet. And then just glue it on the back side. All right, there he is. Turned out super cute. I was real happy with this one. If you like these kind of videos, be sure and give me a like. If you want to see future videos, be sure and like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you're notified when I have a new video upload. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Peace out.